Hello and welcome to yet another stream of Network Programmability Lab. I'm glad to be here for yet another week. I already lost count how many streams we had before. Just as part of this particular project, the Network Programmability Lab, it will be 9th stream, but we also had some other streams about writing GNS3 converter and so on. So yeah, I actually lost count of how many we already had. Before we start, let me do a couple of announcements that I think are quite important. So every so often people ask me if my code is available. Yes, it is available, and you can find it on my public GitHub page, and the link should be somewhere there, I think, or maybe down to the bottom. So if one of the first links there is a link to my GitHub profile, so you can find all the code that I'm writing on the stream there. It's all open source. Next one is if I record my streams. Yes, I do. So everything is recorded and posted on my YouTube channel, and the link can be found here up above me or down below in the Twitch description. Yet another one is Discord channel. So we have a Discord channel right now. It's not very active one. So Discord is basically a platform for chatting or to have a voice chat. So basically it's a place where we could gather and talk about some stuff like streams. So something that we can use for communication outside of the stream, if you would like that, of course. I'm not forcing anyone to use that. Okay, so, and I actually fixed a link to Discord channel. Apparently it was broken for at least a couple of weeks, and somebody pointed this out to me, and I fixed it yesterday, I think. Okay, there are a couple more announcements that are specific to this week in particular. The first one is there will be no stream next week. There will be no something is happening with my neighbors above. I don't know what, but there will be no stream next week. I'm going to US, to Ohio, so if you are somewhere close, I'm not sure I will have a lot of free time, but if you are living somewhere close, like in Cleveland, for example, we could meet. So I will be there for a week. So, and I'm leaving next Sunday early in the morning. That's why we will not have a stream. Okay, another one is I am doing the webinar for as part of laying out foundations for intent-based networking series that my team at Cisco is responsible for, and I will be doing power of x6c programmability. It will be next Thursday, 29th of March at I think 10 a.m. Pacific time. Let me quickly double check that. So laying the foundations for intent-based networking. So if you put that in Google, the first link actually will be to the webinar series by Matt, and the power of x6c programmability, March 29th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So there will be cool stuff, cool news about device level programmability as well as a demo. So you are more than welcome to join my webinar next week. Okay, yet another announcement is Ansible 2.5 was released this week. and it's actually kind of funny because last stream we were having first look at Ansible 2.5 using release candidate. Hi Jurumaze in Italy, nice to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, last week we had a first look at Ansible 2.5. There were some significant changes in how you connect to network devices, and basically you just 3 days after the stream, Ansible 2.5 was actually released. So let me see if I can find some document. There was something like new in Ansible. So there was this old one, what is coming soon, and I think it was new in Ansible 2.5. There was some blog post. Yeah, traveling space and time. I think this one. Yeah, so you can read some new features there. But besides that, there is a lot of changes in how you do networking. Oh yeah, actually here. Well, technically not new plugins. This connection plugin can be used directly for network specific modules. So there is network CLI that you do for SSH connection and pushing config. And there is new netconf modules. This one I actually didn't try yet, but I should. They also, right now, they have a very big focus on networking part. I saw that it seems they dedicated some full-time people in Red Hat to do networking part. And there is this also cool document, network best practices for Ansible 2.5. I still haven't read it fully, but there is some good information there, how some of your workflow may change and how you would do it properly in Ansible. So yeah, check that out and check out my previous stream on my YouTube channel. And the last announcement is last week as well. Cisco released L2 Campus CVD playbooks. So I think if you just do Cisco DevNet L2 Campus CVD Ansible, let's try this one. If you can search it in Google. Okay. Apparently I cannot access it like this. Okay, let's try. Pretty sure they were on the GitHub page. So let's do github.com Cisco DevNet. And there are so many repos here. CVD. Yeah, CVD config templates. I'm not sure why I can't access it via the find from Google, but this is a page. So basically the idea here is that you substitute some variables in your files, and it configures a full L2 access network for you, including access distribution layer. And like most, I checked it. I didn't use it because I don't have my own enterprise network to mess with, but I checked how many features are there, and there is a very significant amount. So starting with some basic connectivity and ending with this AAA and so on. So a lot of cool stuff. Check that out if you didn't do it before. So you can literally bring up your L2 campus L2 access network very fast if you use something like that. Okay, so I think this is all from on announcement side. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions or comments in the chat. Now we will let me give you some state of the labs, I like to call it, what we were doing before, what we are going to do today. So I already mentioned this a little bit last time. We had the first look on Ansible 2.5, so we checked a new connection method, network CLI, as well as we checked some new IS modules, and we did some very basic config on our usual network. Okay, so I already have a number of good ideas. So I saw that there are some features missing that could be added. So probably on some stream I will be doing like open source contribution, like pull request or something, but not today. So oops, and I accidentally clicked on the link. So yeah, from a couple of streams before, we also had this IPAM system called Netbox, from which we were doing some configuration of the basic configuration of devices like IP addresses and so on. So I was thinking about that more, and having Netbox a single source of truth, I actually started having some doubts about doing that. So actually configure your network from information present in Netbox. I kind of started disagreeing with this approach more. That I learned about Ansible more now, and I feel like having the data in Ansible variables makes more sense to me now. So going forward, I'm thinking about changes this workflow from single source of truth IPAM to having all of that in Ansible. The main reasoning behind it is, first, you can't have everything in your IPAM system. You can't have some networking features that you need in a network, like let's say first hop redundancy protocol or routing protocol. Well, you can have some BGPs there in Netbox, but generally speaking, networking feature is not what is supposed to be in IPAM. In the first place, it's about keeping track of your inventory and keeping track of your IP addresses and your IP address prefixes and so on. That's why I kind of started feeling that this is not actually the right place to be single source of truth, at least from my perspective. You feel free to disagree and bring your argument there. So because if you do that in Ansible in plain text YAML files, you can actually have a good benefit of you can use GitHub or some other Git repository where you would keep track of your versioning, where you could do easy roll back of changes, where you could do CI systems. So that's why I kind of feel that having all of that in one place, well, you already will have some of that in your playbooks, in your variables, so bringing IP addressing there makes more sense to me. That said, I'm not against using IPAM. I'm thinking it's still a good way to have some visual about the devices that you have and prefixes that you use. That's why I'm thinking that actually having it in Ansible and as one of the playbooks would be to actually, whenever you do some changes in Ansible variables, it will go ahead and update the information in your IPAM. So I think this actually makes more sense than vice versa. So your playbook will go ahead to network devices, reconfigure them, and it will also go to your IPAM and update information there, so it's consistent. This kind of makes a little bit more sense to me right now. Okay, so this is what we were doing before and where we are headed. Today though will be a little bit different, so we will not be using our usual network topology. There are a couple of reasons for that. First, it requires a significant update, the topology there. and I still didn't have a chance to do that, unfortunately. So today we will be not using that topology. This is the first reason why. Second reason why is at work I have some new projects which I will not be able to tell you a lot about it, but generally speaking it's very big lab system with a lot of devices. And one of the things that we would like to do is to build new topologies without recabling the network. And there should be, you should be able, between any two devices, you should be able to use most of L2 protocols and stuff. So what me and colleague of mine decided to do, we were deciding to using .1Q tunnels, Q and Q tunnels. So technology that at some point was heavily used in ISPs to build L2 VPNs. So, and let me bring up topology and you will understand what I'm trying to do here. So here is one snippet of the topology. I have here four devices, R1, R2, switch 1, switch 2, which are part of like actual lab, lab pod. And there are two switches in the middle which are called matrix switches. So the idea here is that every lab device is connected to matrix switch with a number of ports. In this case, I have 4 links going between every device and matrix switch. Then on matrix switch you configure Q and Q, and using this Q and Q you can basically specify that, okay, let's say this link, let me turn on, labels will be actually quite bad here. So let's say here the link is 10. You could say that, well, I want to build a Q and Q tunnel between this link and this link E2/3 going to switch 2. So you encapsulate all of the traffic in you tag it with another VLAN, and now you can basically tunnel from R1 to switch 2, and you can have as many, you can have tagged traffic, you can have untagged traffic. There are some limitations there, but generally speaking a lot of features are supported, some of the features are not, but I think this is what will work in our use case. So one of the things that came up is, well, we can do interface configuration here on matrix switches with Ansible as well. You can say, okay, like this port here is supposed to be in .1Q, in Q and Q VLAN 2001, for example, and then the same thing applies to this port. So this is how you would create the VLAN. That said, from user perspective, I don't want to specify any kind of VLANs, stuff like that. What I want to say is I want to have a connection between R1 and switch 2, and I want to have connection between R1 and R2, for example, and you should figure out on your own what kind of underlying configuration should be applied. So you could think it something, you know, where we are going with this very very popular and kind of hype as well word intent based, right? So this would be one example of intent, where you say, well, I want R1 to be connected to R2, but I don't care about underlying config to be able to achieve that, right? So I was thinking that it would be cool to build a new module in Ansible that will do that for you, where you would specify that, okay, I want to connect R1 and R2 like with the first port pair that is available, with the first VLAN that is available, and go ahead and generate a new configs for me. So this is what we are planning to do today. We were planning to build a module where we would be able to do that. So unfortunately I didn't have a lot of time before the stream to reconfigure everything that I would need for actual work, so we'll have to do it now. It's not a big deal. I would need to configure only management ports. So, oh yeah, one more thing. You see that on every device here there is port E00 that is connected to another switch. It's going to NetCloud. So in NetCloud I have a management machine, so if I configure IP addressing on these E00 ports everywhere and SSH, I should be able to use the host machine behind NetCloud to do anything I want with Ansible, for example. So let me bring up my terminal window here. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions, if you'd like to know something, or maybe you didn't understand 100% what I'm trying to do. Okay, so this is my management machine running Ubuntu, and I will also need console access to these guys. The good part about this stream is that I have absolutely no clue how to write Ansible modules, custom modules, so it's going to be fun. The good part is that I know Python quite well, so it doesn't scare me, but that said, still. Okay, so I have console access to all of the boxes here. So let me just quickly configure one of those manually, and also I need my Visual Studio Code. Just give me 1 second, I will bring it. Code dot. So, yep, this is my Visual Studio Code. So I will use PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, depends on what exactly I'm going to do. I really started liking Visual Studio Code more. There are so many plugins, and there is extremely easy way to manage settings. I think what they have is actually so awesome that nobody else replicated yet. Let me actually show you this. So for example, if there are some custom settings for your modules, so you go to the settings and you put in search bar the settings that you're looking for. For example, I installed a new plugin called Black. I will tell you about it in a second. So it brings all default settings that contain word black, and then you click here on the button like edit and say the new setting will be, let's say, false. Okay, it doesn't override anything in default settings, but it goes to your user settings and changes this setting here to false, and that's pretty much it. So the system is just unique and really amazing from my perspective. Also, I learned about a new Python project, which probably one of the one of the fastest growing Python project ever. It's called Black. So Lukash Python black. Let me show you this guy. So what this thing does is, if you run it on your Python script, it will format it according to PEP8. I tried it, I was amazed. I will now use it probably for most of my projects. So let me actually show you. So let's say I have here a couple of my old scripts. Let's say what? Let's say collection, I think. And I hope this will work. So I use my Shift Alt F, I think, for doing, yeah, Shift Alt F. This is a format keyword in Visual Studio Code. So I do that, and now all of my code is PEP8 compliant. Well, most of it. Not everything can be actually easily converted. So Shift I, yep, like this. So, or you can use a command line. You can say black and name of your Python file, and it will reformat it for you. So 1300 stars in 2 weeks, I think pretty amazing result here. So yeah, I really recommend this project, especially in editors that could support it. So yeah, cool. So let me go back to devices. Let me configure one from scratch. So no shutdown IP address DHCP. I always forget the IP address range used for management. Fatality. Okay, so yes, the network is 192.168.122.0/24. Okay, so let me bring this up on my topology. Oops, something is happening here. Okay, so my management network is 192.168.122.0/24. Okay, and let me make the text bigger, and let's use what? Let's use consoles, maybe consoles, and let's make it bigger. Say what? Let's say 18. No, let's do 16. Let's do 16. Okay. Okay, so R1 will be dot 101. This guy R2 will be 102. Switch 1 will be 103. This guy will be .4, and matrix switch will be let's say 151 and 152. Okay, so I will need a snippet here for configuration part. So it will be interface E00 everywhere. Let's do no switch port. Let's also do it in VRFs. so that I will feel better. So VRF definition management. Let's say address family IPv4. Okay. So this will be no switch port, VRF management. Let me make it bigger. IP address 192.168.122.1. No, say 101. No shutdown. Okay. And just to be sure, we'll have duplex full, because these virtual boxes will yell at me otherwise. And I also need to configure, let's say, username. What username, admin, password. Oh, I'm doing. It will be username, admin, privilege 15. Let's say password, admin. Okay. So then line. Okay. No, also we'll have IP domain name tmfigl.me. Hostname will be configured automatically. Line console 0, transport preferred none, logging synchronous, and then line vty 09, login local, privilege level 15, and what else? Transport input all, and crypto key generate. Oh, let's do this. IP SSH version 2, and crypto key. Oh, actually, it's not in end. I think it's in crypto key generate RSA modules 2048. I think this is supposed to be good. Oh, and default route, IP route, VRF management 000.192.168.122.1. Okay, hopefully this is going to work. Okay, something didn't work. Line VTY 09. Okay, let's try 04. Okay, this works. Okay, so no. Okay, right. Okay, so it's VRF forwarding management and IP address, obviously. Okay. Okay. So if all is well, if I do one ping, okay, ping works. Okay, so now let's replicate all of this. Let me add this conf t and okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. So if everything I did correct, I should be able to ping every box. No. What did I do? Oh, 0. This one is not working. Ah. Okay. 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 4 okay as well. 51 okay, and 52 is okay too. Perfect. So this part is working. You know what? I'm going to save this part somewhere so that, because I guess this will be not the last time. The last time I'm doing that. Let's just put it in templates for now. Let's say management interface J2. Okay. The chat is abnormally quiet today, but that's okay. Okay, cool. So now we can also check if I can connect via SSH to any of these boxes. Let's say one switch and one router, just for the test. Yes, admin, correct. Okay, and now let's do again for 151. Yes, admin, correct. Okay, so I can connect to management interfaces of those. So I think this is the point where we can start using Ansible to do what we are supposed to. Okay, so I think I love PyCharm a little bit more. So okay, let me switch to Ansible here. Ansible. Let me see what is going on here. I may regret that I'm doing this right now, but let me see. Git status. What is going on here? Needs merge. Let's say git reset. No, git Git checkout. Scripts requirements txt. What? Error, path isn't merged. have no clue how to fix it in Git. Okay, it's just git reset. Okay, not hard. Okay, git status, git checkout, maybe git reset hard, git status, tracked files. Okay, whatever. Git checkout dev, git status, tracked files. You know what, I will just keep working dev, that's fine with me. Let's also do git diff on okay, whatever. Okay, so okay, I'm in dev branch now. There are a couple of obvious changes. One is we are upgrading to Ansible 2.5. Let me check what is, maybe they already had some hot fixes. Pip install Ansible. Okay, 2.50. Okay. Oh, there is pip install upgrade. Okay, first I need to get to my virtual environment, let DevOps pin activate, pip install -u-pip. Let's upgrade my pip. Let's upgrade my pip. This sounds strange, but that's alright. Okay, changes some here. So because this will use different inventory and a lot of stuff will be like completely different, I'm thinking that I'm going to create a new subdirectory here, which will be called, let's say, network programmability lab, and all of these files will go there. Yes. Okay. Now we'll have another directory which is called, let's say, dot one q tunnels answer .1q tunnels, let's say. Okay. So because we have a lot of stuff working, I'm going to copy paste a lot of stuff. So Ansible CRG will go, I think, almost untouched. Okay, it will be host YAML, host key checking false, Ansible, blah blah blah. Let's actually remove some stuff and just see how bad it will be. Okay, so we also have host YAML, which we are going to change. Okay, so we will not have Ansible connection local anymore. Oops, what did I do? We don't have this anymore. We have network connection, network CLI, Ansible interpreter. We will leave this. Okay. Now we will have two groups. We'll have a lab. Let's say no. We'll have group pod, which will have children, which will have pod routers, which will have hosts, and it will have I forgot the name. I think it was R1. Ansible host will be 192.168 12, not 12, 122.101. Okay. And R2, same thing. So now we copy these routers and we'll have port switches, which will have this 3 and 4. This will be SW1, SW2, and then here on the top level you will have let's say infra, which will have, let me copy this structure similarly, which have children, which will have matrix, and it will have matrix 1 and matrix 2. Okay, 51 and 52. Okay, so these arguments, I think they are supposed to change to something else. That said, I would like to move this part somewhere else. So you'll have here directory group vars. In group vars will have file called all YAML. This is where we will copy these vars here. Okay. Now with username, I think there was something different. Let me see. Ansible 2.5 network CLI. And you know what, let me just double check in another Firefox browser if I have the same problem. Nope. So what is messing with this stuff? I think it's all because of my no script temporary allow all on this page. I will actually disable extension. Let's see, let's disable this, try again. No, something is broken in developer edition of the browser. Let me try disabling everything here. Yeah, that's sad. Maybe. Yeah, I will have to use different browser. Hold on, let me bring up Safari here. So we have to specify network OS. Let's do this. So network OS IOS. Oh, sorry, it's variable Ansible network OS, Ansible network OS. Persistent command timeout, private key, remote user timeout. Let me check IS config module. I thought I had this correct. Is it here in SJC? I think when I was starting messing with GitHub, something broke. Oh, and here, Ansible connection, iOS, network CLI, Ansible network OS, iOS, Ansible user, username, Ansible SSH pass. Okay. Okay, so this will be Ansible user. This is going to be SSH pass. SSH pass. Okay. So if I did everything correctly here, which you never know until you try. So let me bring one of, take this one, collect outputs to that one, and we will going to use the command what? Show IP interface brief, let's say. Show IP interface brief. I don't need provider anymore. I don't need this vars, connection local, no, hosts all, collect outputs, gather facts, no. Okay. So if all here is done correctly, I should get the basic stuff here. No, run show commands on remote devices. Okay, so before I deploy this code, I have to go to my projects here, and I will remove the whole thing. -rf. Okay, and I will re-upload the whole thing back. Okay, it will take some time. Files are transferred. So before we proceed, we have to upgrade our Ansible to release. Let's do pip freeze. Okay, Ansible 2.5.0 RC3. Okay, so let me think. Okay, so it will be source. No, what I'm doing. I have to go to the proper directory. Okay, so here is to pip install -u, no, -r -r requirements txt. Okay. Okay, successfully installed. So if I go to Ansible now, no, so let me delete this one. Why do I have this requirements txt here? Build one qtunnels. So, moment of truth, Ansible minus playbook. Collect outputs.yaml. This is interesting. Okay, so actually I need that stuff. Okay, let's try again. Perfect. So I can connect to every device and get some outputs. Okay. So I'm thinking how I should do it properly. So let's just for the future we'll create for folder roles. And the role name will be let's have matrix. Inside of it, I don't know yet what exactly we'll have. Let me check the proper structure. Let's do this. Ansible best practices. This one, just what I'm looking for. Roles, commands, tasks, handlers, templates, files, script, wires, meta, module, utils, variables associated with this role. Okay, you have variables associated with this role. Where's main YAML? Okay. So matrix. Where's Oops, no, this is supposed to be directory. Directory wars new file. Main YAML. Okay, so this is where we are going to do our magic. So let's have two variables first, .1q, or yeah, so .1q tunnel VLAN start will be 2500 or 2200, let's say. .1q tunnel VLAN and yeah, we actually don't need VLAN and we will not have so many of those. Okay, .1q tunnel VLAN start is we will just have 2000. Okay. Then we'll have tunnels .1q tunnels. Okay, this is going to be a list of devices, and here I'm going to say that okay, the first link is going to be between R1, like this, R1, R2. Then the second one will be R switch 1, switch 2, and then R1 switch R1 switch 1. By the way, there are two ways to define list of lists in YAML. When I was researching this, so list of lists in YAML. So, because this may be a little bit hard to read, nested list in YAML. Yeah, like this, or no. Complete idiot's introduction to YAML. I like how this is named. Let's do this multi-dimensional arrays in YAML. I saw it somewhere, but I don't recall. Oh, this one. So alternative syntax is, I will actually use both just to see that it's the same thing. Generally speaking, though, it's not exactly correct. Well, I mean, it's correct, it's just using two different syntaxes in one file seems kind of stupid. Okay. Also, let me do the phonics thing. So I'm going to go to every device and do WR. And before we proceed, I'm going to show you guys that this is actually working. Let's say yeah, I can do it here between R1 R2, yeah, between R1 R2, and then I will reload the box. So E00, no, what is its interface? So we will take E10, interface E10 actually, no shutdown, duplex full, and here we'll just put some IP address 1, 0. We'll do the same thing here. IP address 10.0.0.2. Okay, so here will be untagged traffic. So here, this is where the, no, on matrix, which is where the magic happens. So I go to interface facing the router. It will be 10, switch port mod .1q tunnel, switch port access VLAN 2000. Okay, do show VLAN brief, do show VLAN brief. Okay, I have VLAN 2000 now. And also let's do show interface trunk. Okay, no interface is a trunk, so also need to configure one of the ports to another switch's trunk. So it will be switch port trunk encapsulation.q switch port mod trunk. We can do allowed VLANs, but not necessarily. Here let's do the same thing. So here will be 0 switch port trunk encapsulation.1q switch port mod trunk. Interface E10 no shut switch port mod .1q .1q tunnel switch port access VLAN 2000. Okay, if I did everything correctly, now R1 should be able to ping R2. Well, switch port, no, show spanning tree VLAN don't. Right, so for VLANs after 1000 we should use spanning tree. Oh no, hold on. To show spanning tree VLAN 2000. Oh, actually this worked. So spanning tree enabled point to point. Let me try again. Okay, yeah, it works now. Also, if I want to see that the tagged traffic is working too, so I can say E00.10 encapsulation.1q10 IP address 10.0.10.1 E00.10 encapsulation.1q10 IP address 10.0.0.2 no 10.0.10.2. So do ping 10.0.10.2. Okay. And this does not work. Let me think why. Show .1q tunnel. Not this one. To show. Oh, okay. No inter. To show. It's. I did it on management interface. Okay. No interface E0010. Interface E00. No E1010. Encapsulation.1q 10 the same IP address. Here we'll show run interface E0010. Okay. Const no interface E0010, interface E1010. Okay, so now I should be able to ping 10.0, 10.2, which I can. Perfect. Show IP interface brief, ping 10.0, 10.2. Just to check something else, let's do VLAN 100. This will be our native VLAN, and interface E70, switch port trunk, native VLAN 100, VLAN 100, interface E70, switch port trunk, native VLAN 100. Okay, show VLAN, show spanning tree VLAN 100. What did it say? Unblocking VLAN. Okay, I still want to check that my pings are working. 0.0. Okay. Okay. Great. So yeah, I have connectivity. Yeah, so this is basically how Q&Q works. So now I'm going to reload, save no, reload, confirm. Okay, so after this boots up, I should be able to run my playbook again. I need to duplex full again. It does not save this config for some reason. Okay. So if I run this, it should still work. Okay, perfect. So this works. We'll leave this playbook intact. We'll have a new one called provision. It will include let me see an example. Ansible roles. Always forget how you should. I mean, I'm pretty sure you create tasks and then main YAML or something like this. Okay, so in our provision playbook, this will be provision lab network hosts all tasks. The task include role. and row here will be what matrix? Okay, we are going to call tasks in matrix. Finally, you wish to assign, or again your syntax, you to the roles you specify. Let's also have tags. Why not? Tags. Let's also have matrix. Yeah, let's just have matrix everywhere. Okay, so I'm creating this role. Okay, tasks contains the main list of tasks to be executed by role. What I don't like is that everywhere here it's called main YAML. It's supposed to be called main YAML. I don't like this. Why can't we have task.yaml then? Why do I need tasks / main YAML? This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But okay. Okay, role example tasks. Oh, you can actually have. Okay, you may have main, then you may have subtasks, and you would use import tasks. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so let me copy the structure. So tasks, new main YAML. Okay, here we are going to do something. I don't know yet what exactly. We will not have import tasks. Name configure.1q tunnels, say q in q tunnels on matrix switches. When we will not have when. Okay. Okay, so this vars will be available to the task. So I think this is a point where I write my custom module after one and a half hour of introduction. But hey, that's okay. If somebody is watching, you would be able to replicate the whole thing basically almost from scratch. Okay. So okay. So let's try to get some documentation for this. So basically what we have to do, we have to have our task called something, say tunnels, whatever it will be called, yeah, and it should just get and maybe destination. This will be directory where we will have files. Let me see this example again. Collect outputs. Yes, commands. Right, okay. Yeah, so we'll have something like this. So we'll have task .1 qdownloads. Just have it singular, like, because we also have is_commands, not the commands, and we will have destination. This will be some directory that we create, say out something. Destination dir out. So the idea here is that I supply these variables, this one, and I get config templates for infrastructure switches. Okay. So let me think about two things. Let's do this. Role specific variables for every device. Ansible. Because I will need that. Role default variables allow you to set default variables for included or dependent roles. See below. To create default, simply add defaults. No, not this one. Plugins in roles, no. Okay, let's check this out. Role. Variable defined from included files and roles. Turns out we already talked about variables in another place too. Described in roles variables can also be included in the playbook via include files, which may or may not be part of Ansible role usage. Role is prefers a nice organizational system using variables. Oh, this one is actually extremely important. Variable precedence. This one I was always curious about. A lot of roles may not, however, override one another. But you better know where to put variable, and then you have to think about it a lot less. By defining variables x in 47 places and then ask a question which x get used. You may have the order precedence more specific. Role defaults with the last list variables winning prioritization. Inventory file or script group vars. Inventory group vars all. Playbook group vars all. Wait, what? The playbook can also have specific group variables? I didn't know that. This is actually something that I need. Inventory, file, script, host vars, inventory, host vars, playbook, host vars, facts, play vars. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the structure, we also would need group vars here. Oops, we will have a file called matrix1 YAML. Let's just have like this actually. To have it consistent. YML matrix1 will have interfaces where we will have an interface name, let's say Ethernet 10, and then this guy will have every interface will have something like, no, I don't like this structure. We'll have something like this: name in Ethernet 10, and then we need to specify to what device it's connected. So say connected device will be R1. Connected device port will be Ethernet 10, and let's say is to type dynamic.1q. I'm thinking if we need to have something else. We need to specify from matrix switch perspective that, okay, I have this port and I can use it for dynamic tunneling. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. So now I have to replicate this a bunch of times. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay. And then I will have the same thing for switch 1. Okay. Oops. And this is connected to switch 1. I think it's the same ports. Let's see. Yeah, 1, 1, 0. Okay, that's almost pretty much it. So then we will have matrix 2 with very similar stuff, except instead of R1 I have R2, and instead of switch 1 I have switch 2. So just based on this structure plus this stuff, we should be able to produce configs for interfaces on matrix switch. And configure our .1q tunnels. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the structure. Now the time to actually write the module. So I know nothing about writing modules in Ansible. Developing modules. Let's see how their documentation, if it's good or not. Okay, does similar module already exist? For us it doesn't matter, we just want to do stuff. There are a lot of existing modules. Has someone already worked on a similar pull request? No, that's not the way. I just want to get it to work. Should we use or develop an action plugin? Action plugin get run on master instead of the target. For modules like file, copy, template, some of the work needs to be done on master before the module executes on target. Action plugin executes first on master and then can execute normal module on the target if necessary. Oh, I think I actually need an action plugin, because the only thing I really doing is I'm creating local config. No, I hate this music. I'm sorry guys, let me switch it to something else. Okay. I didn't know that there are also some plugins. Now I know. Certain types of plugins are available. Action plugins are front-end to modules and can execute actions on the controller before calling modules themselves. We also make the font bigger. Playbook constructs like host vars and group vars works with vars plugin. They inject additional variable data into Ansible runs that didn't come from inventory, playbook or command line. Note that variables can also be returned from inventory, so in most cases you will need to write or understand vars plugins. Okay, so now that I think about this more, I think it would make sense to use this one. So, and then we can use is_config module to create a proper config. What we really have to do, we have to add additional host vars to every matrix switch in identifying that, hey, this port is supposed to be .1q. Yeah, so probably right now this makes sense the most. Filter plugins are used for manipulating the data. They're featured Jinja 2 is available in Jinja 2 templates. Okay, not Jinja 2 template. Test plugin for verifying data. Distributing plugins. You know what? I really curious that, okay, here are a list of 10 different plugins that you can use, and then they start describing them, but only like what, 7 of them. Okay, So I think vars plugin is what I need. More documentation on writing vars plugin is pending, so you can jump in. Oh god. So you can just jump to this GitHub repo and just figure things out pretty easily on your own. Okay, I'm now not surprised that when I want to write something, sorry, when there is some error, it's just hard to troubleshoot in Ansible. If you guys write something like this in documentation, this is a pretty damn bad documentation, I have to say. I will figure it out, but I would prefer to spend less time though. Okay, so I think I will need vars plugin. Should receive a copy, no. Ansible meta class type. From future absolute import division print function, okay. Let's try our luck. Maybe someone already went through all stages of hell and figured it out. Custom vars plugin Ansible. Var plugin inject additional variable data. Okay. Vars plugin were partially implemented in 2.0 and rewritten to be fully implemented in 2.4. Host group vars plugin shipped with Ansible enables reading variables from hosts group vars. Enabling vars plugin. You can activate a custom plugin by either dropping it into a vars plugins directory adjacent to your plane inside the role, or by putting it in one of directory sources configured in Ansible CFG. Okay, let's start with that. So let's check this. No, not this one. This one? Yes, this one. Roles, common tasks, handler, templates, files, vars, defaults, meta, module utils, lookup plugins. Okay, so I need var plugins. Oh no, what did I do? They say drop it into vars plugins directory. Okay, let's see. You can activate the customer's plugin by either dropping it into vars plugin directory adjacent to your play inside the role. Okay, so this part is fine. Vars plugin are used automatically after they are enabled. You can use Ansible doc -t vars -l to see a list of available plugins. Use Ansible doc -t vars to see plugin specific document. Let me try this. This is the same stuff that we saw in the file before. Yeah. Load YAML vars into corresponding group hosts into group vars and host vars directories. Files are restricted by extension to one of YAML, JSON, YAML, or no extension hidden starting with blah blah blah. I will try my Google luck more. Someone were writing custom modules and plugins. Let me see. My custom modules for Ansible configuration management, multi blah blah blah. Vars loader, C library. You know what? Let's check this out. Who's this guy? Operations in Belgium. Oh, he has a blog. What do you do, sir? Linux and open source operations, all blah blah blah. Security is overrated. Quite a lot of followers this guy has. Okay, but we got derailed a little bit. Vars plugins, group vars tiers. My custom modules for Ansible, a multi-node vars plugins. Group vars, customized version of the original group vars UI. This plugin you can organize group and host vars in various subdirectories as you like. Files are named to the group name and can have optionally an extension YAML or okay. There can be only one file per group of hosts, otherwise an error is thrown. I think what this does is just creates dynamically a host vars. I'm not sure it's a bad thing. Let's go from Ansible import utils, constant C. Consequently, the callback instances do not have a copy of runner instance variables needed to get as a dictionary. Playback code will do something like this, so callbacks can know what they're currently executing. Okay, this is something that I will save. We need variable space from CMD line. Is there any way I could access this other than the host voice? I would like to pass CMD -e. But in theory, if there is runner object available, we should be able to access those. Try access self runner. Let's also read more about action plugin. Too many stuff, too little documentation. That's unfortunate. A special type of module or a complement to existing modules. Action packets get run on master. Set up a target for modules like copy template. Some of the work needs to be done on the master before it executes things on the target. The action plugin executes first and then can execute or not the normal module. For instance, copy action plugin. Let me read about this. Wow, that's 400 lines of code for what? For action plugin? Are you kidding me? Custom action plugin must be placed under the configured action plugin path or alongside playbooks under action plugin. So it can be called as, or if a file with the same name or even an empty one is placed in the module path. Action plugins are executed on master, so they are part of the playbook run. Okay, so let me refer back to plugins front and I can execute actions. Let's do this. Action plugin per role. Okay, I guess this is going to be actually on, if it's inside, if it's attached to the playbook, it's not attached to the row. Action plugins tier can be either sub-tier of the playbook tier or overall that you include. However, Ansible won't recognize the plugin unless you also have a file of the same name. It's library here. All you need to do is attach library file, but you should at least use this to store the module documentation. Remember though that action plugins are executed on local host, so action plugin is often used as local pre-processing before calling the module to do the remote work. Okay. Also, let's try doing that for the test. I think I'm abandoning idea of having Vars plugin right now. Okay, let's revert back to the block of that guy. They are executed on master, so they are part of the playbook. Okay. Talent. Library backup. Okay, so this guy is creating action plugin called backup. I also need to create this library directory. Oh, it's so complicated. Lack of good documentation sucks. GitHub Ansible library copy. Nope. What is this? Action plugins copy. Ansible runner action plugins. Okay, let's continue reading this. Here's a working example. In the module library backup, all parameters are required, but the action plugin will attempt to provide default values from variables. There is GitHub. Yay! Ansible backup module. Okay. Action plugins backup PY. Library backup. What is this? I think I will have to, I mean, with this kind of documentation, it's really hard to actually try to understand how to do that without good tutorials and stuff. I really I'm a little bit angry right now. You know, I'm reading their guide, developing modules. Should you develop a module? You say, maybe you should use action plugin instead. You go there and there is like no docs, they just say, just look on our example and do like we did. That's not how you write documentation. Ansible, this one though, maybe easier to follow. Okay, you should clone your Ansible repo, change directory in the repo, create a virtual environment, activate virtual environment, install development requirements, run the environment setup for each new script. Hacking. Okay, here is some guide, so I can do this. Okay, devel git branch r. Okay, change directory in the. Okay, I need to git pull. So what? Checkout. Head detached. Okay. I will do like, because I am lacking a lot of Git experience, I will just take out the hammer. remove everything here and start writing it again. Create virtual environment. This kind of page is something that I was looking for plugins. Here is like exact step-by-step guide, what exactly you should do and how. Just look on the source code, that's not a good documentation, folks. So I have to check if I have my virtual environment. Ansible? No, okay. So Python 3 minus mvn virtual environment. So okay. Hi Dex. I'm struggling here with Ansible documentation. It's horrible for developers. Maybe for modules this is like okay, but for other stuff it's horrible. But I will get there. Okay, they say install development requirements. Okay, pip install -r requirements txt. Run environment setup script for each new dev shell process. Okay, I don't like running what I don't know. Every time you should start developing Ansible, you should be able to just run the following from the root of Ansible repo. Right. Okay, let's also upgrade pip because I can't stand it. It's not upgraded to the latest version. Okay, so I will also create a new branch. I don't know why they don't recommend this. Git branch .1q tunnel git checkout -p. Okay. So, and let me see what the script is doing. Okay. That's a big script. Python pass, blah blah blah, verbosity, hacking deer. Okay, so they set some environmental variables here. Full pass. They do export. Prefix Python pass. What else? Too hard to read, but I didn't see anything that was extremely bad, so let's give it a shot. Remember, you may wish to specify a host file with -i. Okay. New module development. You are creating a new module that doesn't exist. You would like to start working on a whole new file. Here is example. Let's do open. Hold on. So what do they say? They say lib Ansible modules cloud Ansible modules cloud Amazon Azure create your new module file. Okay. Nope, we are going to do network. Let's do what? Let's do iOS. Okay. So new file. Let's do .1q tunnel UI. No, let's just call it is.1q tunnel .py. Okay. Do you want to add the following? No. Okay. Also, I have to set up my virtual environment here. So Python interpreter has to change. Project interpreter. Have to add a new one. Local. Existing environment. No, it should be virtual amps Ansible bin, and it should be Python 3. Make available to all projects. No. They don't have a lot of dependencies here though, that's good. Okay, cool. So they say create pass this example code into the new module, explanation in comments. So again, so this is a tutorial, and as a tutorial they show you an example of modules that has more than 100 lines. It's my sample module version 2.5. It's my longer description. Let's just put a name. If we don't get it working today, I will have at least a completely useless module, but with my name on it. It's extends documentation fragment iOS. I have to wait until patch arm here. Ansible module, run module. Okay. Okay, so I like this part, that this is what part is not actually very big. Okay. Define available arguments, parameters that the user can pass to the module. I think I'm thinking this through. Okay, this will be iOS, and I don't think I need any arguments at all. Oh, actually, I do need arguments which will be tunnels, and this is going to reference variables called tunnels. Okay, this is going to reference, oh, it's called topology tunnels. Okay, with this topology tunnels, so this is going to reference this, and I also will need the start of the VLAN as well. So start VLAN will be topology tunnel VLAN start. Okay, so I will have to specify this in my module. Module args dictionary name and new. Okay. Let's just look through the whole documentation till the bottom. Then I will look on existing iOS module and see if I can figure out how to do it in similar way. You may want to test the module on the local machine without targeting a remote host. This is a great way to quickly and easily debug a module that can run locally. Create arguments in TMP args.json with the following content. Explanation below. If you're using a virtual environment, highly recommended activate it. Set up, run your test module. Okay, this part I actually like, so I can do the whole development here locally. This should be working out as it resembles something like the following. Change state. The arguments file is just a basic JSON config file that you can use to module your parameters to run the module it. Okay. Playbook module testing. If you want to test your new module, you can now consume it with Ansible playbook. Run the playbook. Debugging local PTP, debugging remote, blah blah blah. Going further, check out my new branch. We already did that. Did that. Okay. Still, like, I mean, this is much better than docs that we saw for plugins. but you're basically putting a snippet config without like well, it's kind of debatable. It's just, you know, whatever. Fail me. Okay, so now we go and see. Oh, I actually have it here. So let's say iOS L2 interface, for example. Let's see this one. What do they use here? Blah blah blah, examples, blah blah blah. Docs. Right now we are not interested in making docs. Okay. From Ansible module basics, import Ansible module. Okay. I think we had this line. Okay. From Ansible module, utils basic. Okay. Network common utils remove default spec. I don't know. But this. Okay, I can just copy this part, but. Okay, a bunch of functions, blah blah blah. In the event of successful module execution, you will want to simple Ansible module exit JSON passing key value of results. Define available arguments, parameters that user can pass to a module. So tunnels and let's do VLAN start. Okay, so we can pass these two parameters, and both of them are supposed to be, so tunnel VLAN start is supposed to be an integer, and .1q tunnels is supposed to be a list. Okay, let's try. So .1q tunnels is going to be dictionary of type list, required true. Okay, and then we will have VLAN start, type dict will required false. Okay, and let's do default is 2000. Okay. C defines the available arguments parameters that the user can pass to a module. Okay. Seed the result dict in the object we primarily cared about changed, and state change if this module effectively modifies the target state. You will include any data that you want your module to pass back for consumption, for example a subsequent task. changed false original message. Finished. Didn't help much, but okay. So Ansible module object will be our abstraction working with Ansible. This includes instantiation. A couple of common attributes will be args browse path to execution, as well as if the module supports check mode. What is the check mode? Module supports check mode. If the user is working with this module in only check mode. Are you kidding me? Okay. Check mode dry run. Okay. Okay, arguments spec. Okay, this part seems reasonable to me. Let's move forward. If the user is working with this module is only check mode, we do not want to make any changes to the environment, just return the current result is no modification. Okay. Manipulate or modify the state as needed. This is going to be a part where your module will do what it needs to do. Okay, this part makes sense. Finished. Let's do dry run like this. Original message module params name. Let's do VLAN start. String. Okay. Use of topology. You need to define whether or not this module made any modification to your target. So changed true. The execution of the module. If there is an exception, let's do this dot on here. The execution of the module, if there is an exception or a conditional state that effectively causes a failure, run Ansible module file_JSON to pass in the message and the result. Run file.json to pass in the message and the result. You requested this to fail. If there is an exception or a conditional state that effectively causes a failure, run. Okay, so I have to catch an exception and run Ansible fail.json. The event of successful module execution you will want. Okay, this part, all of this seems reasonable, so let me run this module. Okay. I lost this part. No. This. Okay. It's funny that they internally use JSON. Fusing with the environment. Okay, let's try. So okay. So we have .1q tunnels. Oops. Was it underscore? I think it was underscore. It was tunnels and VLAN start. Okay. So it was tunnels and VLAN start. Okay, this will be 2200, and tunnels is going to be a list of like this. List of, okay, it will be list of lists. Okay, let's do R1, R2. Okay, okay, so okay, what did they say? Create, if you're using, activate, hacking, run your test module locally and directly. Okay. So this will be Python. Python. Okay. I need to go to specific directory. So it will be lib Ansible network modules network is. Okay, so it will be python dot slash is dot 1q tunnel py tmp xjson. Oh, correct. Supported parameters, tunnel supported parameters include .1q tunnel, VLAN start. Okay. Okay. value of 2200 is not a valid boolean. Of course it's not a valid boolean, because it's not a boolean. Key error dot one key error. Okay. Let's do get. Okay. Change true original message, blah blah blah, message goodbye. Okay, I like this part. This seems reasonable. Okay, this part is working, though. Let's try googling this. I have to access variables for a specific box. So Ansible module access variable of specific host. Maybe I will have to pass them though. Like, no, I don't know. Because I have to access my host vars here. Oh, by the way, this is a mistake. Host vars. I have to access this one from my module, and my module has no idea about these variables. Okay, this is 2012. I'm pretty sure I will be able to do this. Here I'm going to rerun this with triple-v and let's see. I'm guessing there is a variable that I can access in the module. Not possible because the module is executed remotely and all the variables are not available unless explicitly passed. I had the same question a while ago and Prisp offered an interesting workaround. So I had an idea, blah blah blah. Ansible has a special kind of module, action plugins, not documented. They're used exactly like modules but they're executed locally. Since they run locally, they do have access to Ansible run an object which holds all the group host vars. Awesome. So I think we are back to square one. That said, I'm though interested in something. How does IIS command module or IIS VLAN actually pushes the config? I'm curious about that. Let me see. Let's do IIS VLAN. I think it should be easier. Yeah, it's a little bit easier. Okay, so it outputs commands. And then module exec JSON says Ansible module. And spec. This is an intent option. Which one state present? This IIS argument spec. Okay. So, okay, in this case, the module itself, what it really does, it just outputs the commands. Map object to commands won't have. Wow. Yeah, I guess I will have to go back to this action plugin which are not documented. Because the module, if I understood, it can only access the variables that you pass to it. In my case, I have to access all variables that are present. because I have to go under each specific device in the matrix to see on what ports I can allocate the VLAN. Or I can pass additionally not good. Okay, how to set up? You save, include var merge py into the plugins. Okay, this can be per playbook. And then save, include var merge into the okay, this thing contains only documentation. Here is a good example. Hello world in Action Python. This, I think if I can get this work, then it will be a little bit easier. Then we create library and then we put hello, which can be empty. Okay. So library dot one qtunnel empty. Okay. Ansible, how to use action plugin. Can enable custom plugin based dropping into an action plugin adjacent to a play, blah blah blah. Using custom action plugins executed by default when an associated module is used. No action is required. They can be called as following: action my action foobar. Let's try. Or if a file with the same name which once placed in the module path, they can be called as module. Try this. Okay, I will also rename it. And in the task, they were saying something like this: action, my action. In this case, we have is.1q tunnel foobar, whatever. Okay, let's try. I'm not optimistic that it will run anything. Roles, matrix, tasks, main, action plugins, is.1q tunnel. Okay. So Ansible playbook provision YAML. Expected exception. This is probably a bug. No module named Ansible runner. From Ansible runner return data, and from Ansible runner dot return data did they change everything in module Ansible has no attribute runner. Seems like in 2.5 there is some past change happened. I don't know. Python API change 3 details here. Thank you. Invention 2.0, the core Ansible got rewritten and the API was rewritten too. Okay. Python API pre 2.0 is pretty simple. Okay, these action plugins are from 4 years ago when the previous API was still working. Wow, I did not expect that this is such a pain. Like literally. Okay, that's. So I will try like a little bit more, like 15 more minutes to see. But the whole thing is pretty upsetting. Like, action, they like say in documentation, hey, well, maybe instead of modules you want to do action plugin. You click on the link and they say, well, we don't really have docs for it, but here is a link to the source code, so it's easy to figure it out. So then you're trying to find any kind of tutorial, you're looking through the internet, you find some examples, you copy paste them, and they say, okay, they don't work. And after investigation, you realize, okay, the API was changed completely, so that's why they don't work. So yeah, here's like typical day of software developer who is trying to find a tool that will solve the problem instead of writing the tool from like using pure Python or something, you know, pure programming language. You spend so much time just trying to find the proper way to use the tools that you would like to use. And sometimes it's extremely depressing. Okay. So what is this one? Ansible plugins. Let's try. Well, there are here no action plugins. Oh, here is an example. Action, module, pass, URL, user. And how old is this? Well, this is also very old. It's like 5 years old. 2 and 5 years old. Right, yeah. Okay, let me try going again step by step. Should you develop a module? Blah 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 blah. Should you use or develop an action plugin instead? Action plugin get run on master instead of a target. For modules like file, copy, template, some of the work needs to be done on the master before the module executes on the target. This is true in our case, because we want to get all the details about the variables and convert them like on per device basis. Actually, plugin execute first on master and then can execute normal module on the target if necessary. I am Vasya, thank you very much for following. Should you use your own stat? They say, if you want more information, just click here. So, as a good citizen and good developer, I'm going through this link. The following types of plugins are available. Action plugins front-end to modules and can execute action on the controller before calling the modules themselves. This section describes the various plugins. So they list like, hey, here is the action modules. plugins. And now they give a little bit more details on every type except of action plugin and cache. Or here there is vars plugin. If you find yourself wanting to write a vars plugin, it's more likely you should write an inventory script instead. Okay, by the way, inventory script, this is also something new. Let's see. Ansible inventory script. It feels like a joke to me, honestly. At this point. A lot of capabilities with extremely bad documentation. Custom inventory scripts. Well, I don't need Ansible Tower. So no. Dynamic inventory. From a user or configuration management system, you want to keep inventory in different software systems. Frequent example includes pulling inventory from a cloud provider. Section on this, how to use this in more detail, will be added over time. Right, exactly like action plugins. Let me see what this OpenStack inventory is doing. Okay, this looks to me like something that is actually can be used. So if you think about it, if you write a script that is processing all variables from YAML and outputs like this host vars in this specific format, this will be like we'll have additional variables that we could use. Okay, I think yeah, I'm actually pretty exhausted. It's already more than 3 hours stream, so I think I will wrap up for today. yeah, so yeah, I will wrap up for today. Meanwhile, I will have to actually do it anyway, so probably on the next stream in 2 weeks that we will have, I hope I will be able to at least show result, and then we will continue with the next topic. We'll see. Yeah, so unfortunately today we didn't go extremely far. This particular case, well, yeah, there is not a lot of comments from my side here. It's just I already said everything I wanted. Documentation has big room for improvement here. Like when you read docs, they say, hey, okay, maybe you want to do this. You go, you read about this, and they say, but we actually don't have docs. But here is an example. You should be able to figure it out easily. So then you go look on the internet, you find some scripts, and then you try run them, and it appears that, oh, they were using old APIs that is deprecated right now. So very, very depressing situation to be in, but that's world of software development. That's all right. Okay. Yeah, as I told you guys, next week we will not have any stream. I hope we will have a stream 2 weeks from now. And until then, thank you very much for joining me today, and I wish you an easy working week ahead. Thanks, bye.